Welcome to the Grit and Grind right here, Deryl. Week 6.
Week 6 is upon us.
It's upon us.
Yes.
I'm ready for it.
I am so ready for this week because we got some good games that we got to talk about. Plus, we're going to be at one game tonight because
that's going to be a barn burner tonight.
Yes, a barn burner.
But before we can jump into week 6, we got to go back and look at what happened last week on the Grit and Grind Rewind. Deryl, Rocky Mount. Bunn, Rocky Mount 34, Bunn 7 in Wildcat Stadium. Tell me about it.
Hey, this was a game that we both picked for Bunn to win.
We did.
And,
3 seasons ago.
3 seasons ago.
Bunn upset the world.
Yeah. But they didn't do it this time.
Lightning does not strike twice in the same place.
Unfortunately, they didn't do it this time. But before I get into this, y'all, I got to give a shout out to Nash Central Bulldog cheerleaders. Thank y'all for the intro and the shout out for the show. But Shawn, this game, 34-7, just like you said.
34-7.
Rocky Mount went in there and they took care of business. And it started with their key players for Rocky Mount. Number 3, Mitchell. He had 130 yards rushing.
We've been hollering that name all season.
All season,
Daryl.
Harold, he put up 115. Number 8, and Sivers, he put up 90 for them.
2 more of those names we've been talking about all season.
So you're talking about 3 players combined for 377 yards. Rocky Mount just went in there, took care of business, and was able to get the win. Then they're sitting in the conference 1-0 right now.
That's the driver's seat,
and that's where you want to be because they got a big time. They got to bye this week.
So they're getting rest up?
Getting rest up because they need to get rest because they got Nash Central coming up next. And that's going to be a huge game for them. But, Shawn, tell me about that Aycock and Hunt game.
Aycock Hunt, 54-14. Shout out to one of my friends and co-workers who went to that game to watch Hunt play. And that night, it was all about Aycock. And, you know, we've been talking about this air raid offense, Daryl.
And it showed up.
For 5 or 6 seasons, right? It's the reason why we named it the air raid offense. Yeah. It showed up, Daryl. Aycock scored, listen to this, Daryl, 26 points in the first quarter on a good Hunt defense. A good Hunt defense. Then they scored 14, and in the third they scored 7, and they kind of just let it coast in the fourth. But it goes back to those names at Aycock, and these guys could have been grind players of the week, but it was just another person who stood out over them. Sidney Lannister, 136 yards. Caleb Fredericks, 199 yards rushing. Zymir McClernand, 114 yards receiving. The Aycock defense just was able to contain and lock Hunt's running game down. Antoine Grantham, 9 tackles. Jordan Best, 7 tackles. McShawn McCullen, 6 tackles. I mean, this just was a well-balanced Aycock night.
Aycock just came in there and was able to dominate. And like you said, that air raid offense showed up.
It showed up.
And was able to put up 54 points. And
in 4 quarters, that's impressive.
If you're putting up 54 points,
that's
you're doing
impressive.
something. Yeah.
That was a good win for Aycock there as they move on in college play, because just like you said about Rocky Mount, they sitting 1-0 in the driver's seat.
That's all that matters.
Daryl, we got another game we got to talk about, the Grit and Grind.
Prime time.
Game of the week last week that me and you were able to attend. The Nash Central Bulldogs and the Southern Nash Firebirds.
Yes.
Southern Nash won 28-25. But tell me a little bit about this game, Daryl.
This game lived up to everything we talked about.
Grit and grind.
Grit and grind. And you see Southern Nash coming out now. Nash Central, Rogers, number 19, running the ball for them. And this game was back and forth, and it opened up with Rogers running the ball for a touchdown that came back.
Right.
And that just set the tone for the whole game.
We knew where the game was going to go after that. I mean, both teams, and you said the best, sir, we both said it on the pre-show and on the post-show. They left it out there on the field.
They left it on the field.
Hard hitting.
Yes, definitely hard hitting.
Old school hitting.
Old school hitting. Kareem Tucker, number 6 for Nash Central's running this ball back for a touchdown. And that's basically how this game was. It was just back and forth. And it came down to the last play. And I was talking to Southern Nash coach after the game, and he looked at me, he was like, you said what you said.
Come to the last play.
You said what you said.
Who had the ball in the fourth quarter?
And it came to the last play where Nash Central had the ball. And they just kept making plays after plays. And number 17, Jones, right there running the ball for a touchdown as a fumble recovery. And with Southern Nash, you had Mitchell had a run back
Grind player of the night that night for that game. The grind player of the night that night.
That night.
And that game there, like you said, neither one of these teams wanted to see lose because it was just an exciting Friday night football game.
And both teams was playing good defense. And that's what you want in this game. And we had a chance to talk to some of the coaches for Southern Nash after the game. And
well, both coaches pretty much explained everything to us. So let's hear from Coach Rice and Coach Bachelor on their take of this Nash Central Southern Nash game. We're back on the grit and grind. Great game, 28-25, Coach.
Great game. And I was just talking to your players. This was a tough game, hard-fought game. I mean, very physical game. And Coach Rice, as far as what you saw out there on the field, is some of the plays, how did you feel about how the outcome came as far as for Southern Nash?
I mean, obviously we're happy to win. If you can get a win, that's a good thing. You know, we got to look at film. There's going to be things we need to clean up. You know, just my biggest thing offensively is we just can't turn the ball over.
Right.
Turn the ball over, you give teams chances, and good teams are going to capitalize. So we're going to have to clean some things up and come back next week and try to get better.
Coach Bass, it was a point in the second half where the defense really stepped up. Luke Faulkner all over the field. There was a time when on offense, Luke Faulkner had a good run on that third down to keep the chains moving. How were you able to keep the guys composed to stay on that defense just to lock in?
Well, it's 2 weeks in a row that our defense has basically bailed us out in the second half. And what I told them after we played Southern Alamance last week, when you play a team that good and you find a way to win, you learn that's what it takes. And I think what our guys learned last week enabled us to win this week. Because it's like I told them the last drive in the fourth quarter, I was like, this is exactly where we were last week. We got to go get a stop. So.
Well, we want to thank you, Coach Rice and Coach Bell, for being on the Grit and Grind, and we will see you next week on the Grit and Grind. And we want to thank Coach Bachelor and Coach Rice for giving us that post-game interview. You're watching the Grit and Grind right here on Studio 67. We're about to jump into a few commercial breaks, and we'll be right back for the Grit and Grind Players of the Week on Studio 67.
Nash Community College offers an Associate's in Arts degree as a cost-effective option for students looking to transfer to a four-year college or university. This program requires a minimum of 60 credit hours, and students must maintain an overall GPA of a 2.0 while maintaining a C or better in each course to achieve junior status upon transfer. The curriculum includes general education courses in mathematics, science, English, and communications, ensuring a solid foundation for future academic or employment pursuits. Students benefit from one-on-one time with instructors, as well as a wide variety of wraparound services like subject-specific in-person and online tutoring and the Student Wellness Center. For more information about the Associates in Arts degree or the college transfer process, go to nashcc.edu or call 252-451-8367.
You're watching the Grit and Grind on Studio 67.
Welcome back to the Grit and Grind. Now it is time for the favorite part of the show that everybody looks forward to find out who was this week Grit and Grind Player of the Week. So without no further ado, let's find out.
All right, Shawn. So this week, we're going to stay right here in Nash County for the Grit Player of the Week. And actually, it's going to come out of the game we just talked about, that Southern Nash Central game. It's number 11 for Southern Nash, Davon Richardson. Right now, he has 64 recorded tackles for the season. And last week against Nash Central, he had 17 tackles in that game. He is a physical player, smart player, fast, and he does what you need to be done on the defensive side of the ball. He's in the mix. He's that player, like we always said, that's looking for contact. And so Davon Richardson from Southern Nash is this Grit Player of the Week. Shawn, who's that Grind Player of the Week?
The Grind Player of the Week this week is all about moving chains, scoring touchdowns, and making sure that chain keeps moving those first downs. And as I said earlier, Deryl, it could have been anybody from Aycock. But I went back and looked at somebody who was a former Grind Player of the game in that 71st Hope County game, and I got to give it to the quarterback of 71st, DeAndre Nance, number 11. Last week, 2 throwing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns, 60 yards passing, 40 yards rushing, pretty much being They've pretty much been the kernel of that team and keeping that offense clicking so that Fredericks and them can have those explosive runs. It all starts with the quarterback play with 71st of making that team play like a unit. And that is why DeAndre Nance from 71st is the Grind Player of the Week. We want to thank DeAndre Nance and Davon Richardson for Southern Nash for being this week's Grit and Grind Players of the Week on the Grit and Grind. You're watching the Grit and Grind. We're getting ready to go to commercial break, and we will be back for the Marquee Game of the Week and also the Grit and Grind Primetime Game of the Week.
G-E-T-U-P. Get up out your seat and dance to the varsity. G-E-T-U-P. Get up out your seat and dance to the varsity. C-I-R-D-S. Get up out your seat and dance to the varsity. Let's go!
Nash Community College offers welding technology as a degree, diploma, or certificate. In this 5-semester program, students learn how to draw and read blueprints, the welding process, and welding safety. Students develop and master their skills in the classroom environments and real-world situations in NCC welding shops. With this degree or certificate, students can work as welders in a variety of fields such as construction, fabrication, and industrial maintenance. Most NCC graduates start out as entry-level technicians or welding apprentices working within the community. For more information on welding at Nash Community College, visit nashcc.edu or call 252-451-8270.
Moving chains.
That's what
You know what you say? Look out there. That's the favorite thing. You can be the grit player. You got to be what?
Hey,
Look what?
Hey, that's what you got to be.
You don't go running from it. You go looking for it, right?
That's it.
Welcome back to the Grit and Grind right here. Me and Daryl just have a little off commentary talking about these Grit and Grind players. And you know, you said best, Daryl. The grit player, what you gonna look for?
Oh, you're looking for contact.
And if you're the grind player, you just want to move some chains.
That's all you want to do.
But we gotta give a shout out, Daryl.
Shout out to the Southern Nash cheerleaders. Thank y'all for the intro as far as into the next commercial break. We appreciate it. And Shawn, we got to get started with what this week?
The Grit and Grind Marquee Games of the Week. Daryl, we got a bunch this week, and as we stated earlier during the first segment, we got some good football game on a Thursday night. We got some rain just coming up on Friday, so they pushed to Thursday. We got some good games, and let me jump into that first one, Daryl. You got 3-2 Greene Central, the Rams in Snow Hill, North Carolina, hosting the 3-2 Southwest Edgecombe Cougars, or for lack of words, what Southwest Edgecombe likes to hear me say.
Go on and say it.
My favorite
Go on
Cougar.
and say it.
My favorite Cougar in the state of North Carolina is the Southwest Edgecombe Cougars. I got the road team this week.
Yep, you on that bus.
Let me get ready to crank
Get
it
ready
up.
because the rain is coming.
The rain is coming. We got to leave out.
Yeah, you got to
We got to leave out
early.
of Cougar Town, USA a little early.
Yeah.
Because the attitude bus only do 55
That's
miles
it.
per hour.
So.
Let me tell you about my favorite Cougar out of Southwest Edgecombe. They start off this season, and we've been talking about this team. They've been up and down, but right now sitting at 3-2, you're at a good spot because you're at a winning record. They beat North Edgecombe 62-0. And to me, the most impressive win they had was at the Dog Pound, Daryl.
Yeah,
34-28.
That was a big time win because we both had Nash Central.
I had Southwest, I believe.
No. Both.
You said?
No.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
All right, now this is what we're going to do. Soon the Grit and Grind go off. Go back to week 2, watch that episode. Tweet us on Grit and Grind Podcast NC and let me know if I had Southwest or Nash Central, because right now it's so hard, all these picks.
Oh, I know what you had.
I'm just trying to make them We're going to just, and then they play Eastern Wayne 15-6 and got a win on that. Then they lost against the Tarboro, 27-14. And then they lost last week to Farmville Central by 1 point, 29-28. But Southwest Edgecombe, we talk about these kids every week, Daryl. Jaquir Lovely, Justin Bridges, Jermaine Lucas, Tyson Ayers, Trey Thigpen. You got Evans over there, Darden. I mean, this is a tough challenge because it's your next conference game. And when you look at their conference, it's some teams in there that are not at a winning record, and some teams that are at a winning record. You got North Pitt, they're 3-1. West Craven, 2-3. You already lost to Farmville Central, so you're a game behind them. So they're 1-0. You're 0-1 in conference. And this conference is so tight that you just don't want to get behind the back of the bus.
Definitely.
You want to stay in that folder where, we always say it, Deryl, it's easy to host a playoff game versus going on the road for a playoff game.
Definitely.
This is a big game, and they're coming off a 2-game losing streak. You don't want to slide into a 3-game losing streak because then you may start to see a little turmoil. Very big game for Southwest Edgecombe. I got a pick on it, but before I can even start talking about picks on the quick picks, you got to tell me about this team that's hosted the Greene Central Rams.
Yeah, the Greene Central Rams coming into this game 3-2.
Okay.
And how they got here, they first game of the season, they beat Norlina 25-0.
That's a good win.
Yeah, that was a good win for them. Then they beat Kinston, Bedingfield, Eastern Wayne.
Battle 58.
They lost to Eastern Wayne in that one. But that North Pitt game last week, they won 24-22. So it was a game where even in that, and I got to throw shout out to the North Pitt quarterback, just his name, Famous Wilson.
Oh,
that's his name.
Famous
he
Wilson.
threw for 294 yards in that game.
I got to keep
2
my eye on him.
touchdowns. And so North Pitt, even though they did beat North Pitt in that game, but key players for Greene Central is Michael Suggs Jr., their running back. He's putting up good numbers for them in the running game.
Okay.
And then your defense is Diddy, Sutton, Williams, Cobbs. Those guys have been playing good for them. So this is a good opportunity for Greene Central to get in that winning column as far as in the conference. Because right now they're sitting at 0-1.
Right.
And you want to take advantage of this opportunity. It's a big opportunity because you did win this game back in 2022.
Okay.
You won 30-3. And you had Coppage at that time, number 3, that ran the ball for him. He put up 116 yards rushing. So if you're Greene Central, you want to play good defense and establish the run game.
That's key.
That is the key if they want to win this game because you do not want Southwest Edgecombe to get that momentum started. Because once they get that momentum,
it starts to go.
It starts to go, and it's hard to break it down. So if you're Greene Central, you want to jump on them hard, play good defense, and establish the run early.
Sound like you got a pick on this game.
I got a pick.
It sounds like you got a pick right now.
It's in my head right now, but I ain't said it yet.
We're gonna wait.
We're gonna wait a little bit.
To the quick pick. But I'm telling you, it sounds like you got one.
I'm working on it.
I was getting ready to say for the first time out, we're gonna make a pick right after the game.
We're
gonna keep it forward.
We're gonna keep it moving.
Well, our next game, Daryl, will be Grays Creek versus 71st. Grays Creek 3-1, 71st 4-0. I got the road team this week, though.
You back on that bus?
I'm back on that bus. I'm on the bus twice this week. Grays Creek, the Bears of Grays Creek coming in off some good wins. And if you're into Sand Hills, Daryl, this is heavy hitter football right here.
Yeah.
Two big schools that just want to get out there and play some football on a Thursday night.
Yep.
Grays Creek, they beat E.E. Smith, and that school was 1-3, 49-20. They beat Red Springs, the Red Devils. They're 0-5, won that game 62-26.
That was a good win.
Played 2-2 Fine Forest team at home. They lost 61-49. Came back next week and played another team and won 38-7. So this game right here, this is a good team. And I looked at the film on them, Daryl. They can put points on the board. And they can lock you down.
Yeah.
And they can do everything. I mean, I saw that Purnell Sweat. That's who they played last week, Purnell Sweat out of Lumberton. That was a good win. I watched the film on that and said, okay, here's a team that's got something.
Right.
I look at Ezekiel Reed, the running back. He's got 11 touchdowns on the season. Alfonso Myers, 125 yards on the season rushing, 8 touchdowns, Daryl.
That's good. I mean, you doing so. You putting in some work.
That's good company right there. Then you look at the third string quarterback, DeQuan Anthony, 99 yards on the season, 4 touchdowns. So right there, you got 3 running backs that can score the touchdowns, can get the ball in the end zone. Then you look at that defense. Caleb Caraway, 11 tackles. Bishop Fuller, 7 tackles. Jaden Weld, the safety, 2 interceptions. Christian Burnett, 2 sacks in the game. Every game he's averaging 2 sacks. Caleb Carnwell receiving, 30 yards a game, 3 touchdowns receiving. So they're using Caleb Carnwell in the short game of passing when you're in the end zone. They play in a 3A, 4A conference. 1-0, 3-1. They got, and in this conference, look at all these teams they got. You got 71st.
Yeah.
Powerhouse. Cape Fear.
Yeah.
Powerhouse.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You got Cape Fear in there, too.
Jack Brick. a powerhouse.
Yep.
Purnell Sweat, powerhouse. Lumberton, a powerhouse. Douglasburg, a powerhouse. Southview, all of these teams except Douglasburg in this conference, the 3A, 4A conference, are over 500 or either got to win the record. Either at 500 or got to win the record. That's a lot to take in.
That's what we're going to say. 71st got a challenge.
They got a challenge.
Yeah, they got a challenge.
Big game for 71st.
Big time game
Tell
for
me about
them.
the Falcons.
Falcons coming in this game 4-0.
Yes, sir.
Last week they beat Southview.
Took care of business.
22. And again, it starts with that quarterback play, the grind player of the week, DeAndre Nance.
Yes, sir.
He's putting up good numbers. He's rushing the ball and throwing. So that is good for 71st. With Frederick and Frank, both of them are putting up good numbers. I think combined about 700 yards right now.
They're tangible backfield.
Yeah, and you got a wide receiver, and with it, he's got 281 yards receiving. So you got good weapons on offense if you're 71st that you can use. And then last week against Southview with Franklin, Nance, and then you bring in the sophomore Fawn, he had 150 yards rushing. So you got a sophomore that's coming off the bench that's putting in some time for you that
And
you can
how many
use.
yards?
He got 150 last week that you can use down the road. And 71st as offense is stacked right now. And then their defense is always been there for them. And it's the key players, Jackson, Gear, Lucas, Archer, Richardson, and Hector. Those guys have just been playing some good, sound defense for them. Key to this win for me is just to be focused and ready to play. You know you're going to get the best shot from Grays Creek in that first quarter, so just be prepared for it.
And when you're 71st, everybody's looking to hit you with their best shot.
That's what I'm saying, just like with Hope County.
Right.
That first quarter, I don't even think either
team scored.
And it took to that second quarter for 71st to score. And, you know, that's what you can anticipate in this game because Grays Creek is going to come out ready to play. They're going to be fired up, ready to play. And you just got to weather the storm, stay focused, execute your plays, and play good sound defense.
They come to your house.
And they come to your house.
Come play spoiler.
That's it. And don't look ahead, because I know that Cape Fear game is that next week.
It's next week. And what you always say is best, Deryl, grit and grind, me and you, we can look ahead.
Yeah, we can look ahead all we want.
But 71st and all these other schools, you can't look ahead.
This is the only game you need to be looking at right now. So if 71st can do that, they got a good chance. But I got to pick on this.
Got a Grays Creek come play spoiler, Deryl.
Hey, but I got to pick. But we can't talk about the pick right now.
Gotta say the quick pick.
All right.
I'm gonna say it one more time, though, before I get to the next game. This Grays Creek Bears team are coming to play spoiler in your house. I'm gonna just leave it like that.
All right, leave.
Our next game, Deryl, will be the 5-0 Southern Nash Firebirds going on the road to play the 5-0 Yellow Jackets of Roanoke Rapids. Two teams undefeated.
Yeah.
Good game right here.
Good game. I'm on the bus this week.
Tell me about the
I'm
Birds.
driving up there.
You driving?
And like we was talking about before the show, back in the day, this was that team, Roanoke Rapids. Back in the 80s, 89.
That was a strong team.
That was a strong program up there. When you went up to Roanoke Rapids, you knew you was in for a fight.
Yes, sir.
And so if you're Southern Nash, you can't take this team lightly.
Not at all.
You can't look at, okay, yeah, they're 5-0, but who do they play? You can't look at that because this team has taken care of business. They won the games they were supposed to win, and they're waiting for Southern Nash to come up. So if you're Southern Nash, you got to play good football.
All the way around.
All the way around, and it starts with no turnovers. For the last two games, turnovers has been an issue for you if you're Southern Nash. With Southern Alamance and Nash Central last week, you turned the ball over too much, so you need to cut down on turnovers, protect the ball, and keep drives going. Have good long drives to where, you know, you're playing mistake-free football. And that's the biggest thing for me with Southern.
That's a big key right there. I want to say that again.
Yeah.
You playing what?
Mistake-free football.
That's big.
Meaning the penalties are low.
Right.
You keeping drives going. You know, it's a straight flow down the field. And you want to play good defense, which they've been doing all season.
Okay.
Their key players, again, is always the running game. Tyleek Mitchell, I mean, he's got almost 1,100 yards rushing so far in 5 games.
A former grind player of the game last week.
Yeah. I mean, he's averaging 220 yards a game. You got Hartfield. You got Faulkner running the ball. Defense-wise, you got Davon Richardson, our grit player of the week.
He was a grit player this week.
Tyler and Whitaker. Those guys have been playing straight balling. on that defensive side of the ball. So if you're Southern Nash, keys to this game, stay focused. Stay in the game. And when I say stay focused, with that Nash Central game, at one point in time, Southern was up. I think it was 20-12
right.
or something
and
like that.
And they would have scored that next touchdown.
Right.
We don't know what could have happened.
Right, and that was just before maybe about 8 minutes left before halftime. And Nash Central just started coming back. And
then Nash Central left out of halftime leading.
Yeah.
Now, we always say, it don't matter how you leave at halftime,
right.
It matter how you end the game.
How you end the game, but that's it. But you want to stay focused if you're Southern Nash going up to Roanoke Rapids. You want to take care of business and get on back down Nash County. But, Shawn, tell me about Roanoke Rapids.
Well, like you said, Deryl, back in 89 and 90, shout out to my boy Chris Aycock. This was a good program, a tough place to play in, and a tough team.
Yeah.
I went back and I looked at this. Both these teams coming in undefeated. It's in Roanoke Rapids. And Roanoke Rapids right now, you playing with house money.
But that's what I'm going to say.
You got house money.
You 5-0.
You 5-0.
You done.
You have achieved a remarkable season already.
Mm-hmm.
And if you Roanoke Rapids, Deryl, you go back and look at this game. We have not beat Southern Nash the 5 times we played. We're 0-5 against them since joining the Big East. But, I mean, look at the teams they beat. Northampton 14-8. Yeah. Weldon 14-6. Pine Lake Prep 35-14. The American Leadership Academy of Johnson 51-16. Then Franklinton last week. Yeah. That's the one I want to look at. 10-7. Close game.
Franklinton. That was a close game.
I went and had a chance to watch them play week 1. Not a bad team. Shut out the Apex team in the second half. And I look at the point differential for both of them. Right now, it's 124 points Roanoke Rapids has scored, Deryl.
Yeah.
The opponents have only scored 51, so they only got a 73-point difference of what they're scoring.
That's
and
it.
Your opponents.
And they're playing some good defense if you're Roanoke Rapids.
Right.
And you're sitting 1-0 in the conference right now.
You're in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
They got Bobby Hawkins Jr., 124 yards rushing, 7 touchdowns. Mm-hmm. They got Williams over there, 6 touchdowns, 65 yards rushing on the season. They got Trent Selden, 21 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns. They got a former Grit Player of the Week, Tevin No.
Yeah.
9 tackles.
9, yep.
We saw him the week you made the Grit Player of the Week. He was all over the field. Terrell Ham, 9 tackles. So, I mean, this is a good team. And I went back and I looked at the Franklin game, because you look at the first ones, there's a lot of rushing yards. Yeah. But I went and looked at that Franklin one, Deryl. 85 yards rushing, 92 passing, 26 solo tackles. I mean, your defense was locked in on a good Franklin team.
That's what I was going to say. You locked in at that point when you able to tackle like that. You locked in.
I can go ahead and say it right now, Deryl. I'm not going to make a pick, but I can't say this statement.
Okay.
Roanoke Rapids is the real deal.
But that's what I was trying to say. And you can't go up in Roanoke Rapids thinking that you're just going to win this game and come on home. You got to be focused. You got to be ready to play. Locked in.
All
ready
the way.
to go. That's what, if I'm coach, you need to be locked in.
Ready to go.
Where your mind at? When you get on that bus, where's your mind at?
Get your mind on football, son. Get your mind on football, son. Where you at, Coach Donnie? Get your mind on football. Deryl, when I look at this Roanoke Rapids team, they remind me, and I try not to compare 2 teams alike, especially when they're in the conference. Right. But them and Nash Central, they about identical. With the way they play defense, the way they run the ball, and the way they able to throw the ball. Southern Nash, this is going to be a tough game for them.
Tough game. 3 tough games in a row.
Now, Deryl, it's time for the grit and grind.
Prime time.
Game of the week on a Thursday night. 3-1 Havelock Rams taking the ride down Highway 64.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, here we go. You already heard it.
Here we go.
Down Highway 64.
Let me get situated.
And you know, as we always say when we say you got to take that ride down Highway 64, which we will be taking tonight.
Yeah, we'll be taking that ride tonight.
So I want everybody to know he will be seeing this that we always talk about. You got to see that billboard. Right before you see that sign say, welcome to the town of Tarboro, there's a big billboard. You know what it says in there?
What does it say?
8 state championships. Then you ride on into Tarboro, you make that left, and you come to Valhalla home of the Vikings, Valhalla.
Okay.
They're home, and you see all those greats there. The Todd Gurleys, all of the greats that's played and walked through the halls and graced the halls of Tarboro High. You see all of that.
All right.
And you know what happens? What I always say. You know what happens?
What happens then?
That intimidation factor starts to kick in.
Is that what happens?
Because you start saying, man, we got to play this team. This team that gets the state championships. We are coming to Titletown, USA in the football. Now, there's another Titletown on this side in basketball. That's Kidston.
Yeah.
But when you're talking football on this side of the, well, there's another Titletown also there. Yeah, you got Wilson Prep with 3 state championship basketball. Say they're Titletown. Okay. But when we talking football, this is Titletown. Havelock you got to go through all that in the Havelock round.
Yeah.
But you said, what y'all say? Oh, that don't matter.
They were going to say, that don't matter.
Because they want to play football.
That's all. And yeah, that don't matter. Because Havelock's coming in this game 3-1.
They 3-1.
Had a tough game last week against New Bern. And I still don't know what happened in this game because they was up against New Bern 27-7 at halftime.
And what happened?
And New Bern came back and won 28-27 in overtime.
Can you say that again?
28-27. They won.
Can you say that again for everybody on Grit Ground watching live and watching
New Bern came back and won the game 28-27 against Havelock. Okay. But Havelock put up 27 points in the first half against New Bern. And again, when we was talking about this game on off the show, Jalen Whitty, that quarterback, number 1. He's the real deal, and you need to watch out for him if you're Tarboro. 1,200 yards passing, can run, can scramble, can pass the ball.
He can do it all.
He can do it all. He's got 2 wide receivers, number 2 and Jalen Morgan, and number 7 and Jonathan Williams. Those guys can get open for you. And you got a number 0 running back, LeBron Sharp. Those are some good players they have on that team for Havelock. And the only game they lost is New Bern so far.
That's the only game they lost,
They beat Wallace Rose Hill beginning of the season.
Good 2A program.
Lancey, 46-15.
Good 4A program.
West Craven, 54-7.
Good 2A program.
So they have beat some good teams, and they're coming into this game looking because they know they had an opportunity to beat New Bern last week.
And they left it out there.
They let it go.
Left it on the table.
They let it go. And so they're coming in this game focused. And that is my keys to the win for Havelock is to execute, stay focused, play your game, and don't score too fast. Take your time in scoring. Okay. You don't want to get the ball back to Tarboro. Because you know if Tarboro gets the ball, what they're going to do. They're going to drive down the field.
Eat that clock.
And it's going to eat that clock. So you want to control the ball as far as scoring drives and stuff like that if you're Havelock. But tell me about Tarboro, other than the sign and the championships and all the names. Tell me what else about Tarboro you want to tell everybody.
On Grit Grind. Grit Grind. Welcome to Valhalla. Welcome to the land of champions. 8 state championships. A school just like Southwest Edgecombe that the fan base have adopted me as an honorary high school graduate of Tarboro High. Okay. They have done that. But if you look at Tarboro, it's everything we talk about, Deryl. Mm-hmm. Cameron McDowell Moore, he's been a grind player a bunch of times.
That's what I was going to say. He was a grind player.
349 yards on the season. Cole Craddock, Mason Satterfield, 306 yards on the season. Everett, 254 yards rushing on the season. But if you go back, and I went back and looked at Tarboro, most of the time after they play Southwest Edgecombe, they take a bye.
Right.
You play both your rivals. You had a great non-conference run. You want to rest up because we're getting ready to go on a conference run, and we're getting ready to try to go on a deep playoff run. And we pretty much can say over the past 4 or 5 seasons, since we've been doing Grit and Grind, and since we've been calling games in the booth, Tarboro has a deep playoff run, and 9 out of 10 where it always end up at a state championship.
Yeah, state championship. We definitely.
And you look at all this stuff that Tarboro brings, but I go back and look at these games. Rocky Mount, week 1, 327 yards. Now you look at this Rocky Mount team now, brand new program. Could they do that again on them? We don't know.
We don't know.
Then you look at Hereford County, 307 yards rushing. North Edgecombe, 140. Southwest Edgecombe, 378 yards rushing. And I look at Havelock, and you made a good point right there. They held teams to 14, 27, 15, and 7 points.
Yeah.
Now the one they held in the 27 won the loss.
Yeah, that's
that last week in New Bern.
Yeah.
New Bern, but the rest of them, they won. Tarboro hardest test is tonight.
Yeah,
and I'm glad that Tarboro did this because if you know you're going to have a deep run, like we always say there, we can look ahead.
Yeah, we can look ahead.
But they can't.
And it's like what we said, it's a measuring stick for Tarboro to see where you at as far as program. And when I say measuring stick, meaning that there's a chance Tarboro can win this game.
It's a chance they can win this game there. And if you're Tarboro, you're getting prepared because as you go deeper into the playoffs, you're going to play passing teams, run teams, balance teams that run and pass. Yeah. You're going to play all of that. So this is the game right here to really see where you're at if you're Tarboro. Now, I will say this. Everywhere I checked and I looked online and I read, Tarboro is a 14-point underdog.
Yeah, that's why I wasn't going to say nothing, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah, they didn't want they did not want Deryl to say it. They allowed me to say that.
I didn't want to say that.
They're a 14-point underdog in this game, at home, in Valhalla, in the land of champions, in the title town, and all that. That's a lot to factor in.
You said 14, right? After all of that, 14-point underdog. Okay.
See, I told you. He wanted to sneak it in. That was it. He got
you saying all this stuff, but they still 14-point underdog, right?
Everywhere I check, I'll say it again. Everywhere I check, they're 14-point underdog.
Okay.
In this game.
All right.
Against a good Havelock team. You know, talking about all these games, Deryl, it's just time to go ahead.
That's why I guess it's time to do
It's time to close the book down. Let's go ahead and give these people what they want. It's time for the quick picks right on the Greene grind. But before we can do it, boy, we got
Woo, that's not good.
9-13.
But I was still 12 and 10. You were what, 9 and 13?
Right, wait for me. And I was doing good because I was on my comeback tour.
Well, that tour ended.
The band has disbanded. Down, we got some good games. We got Betterfield, Weldon, Bertie, Goldsboro, Eastern Wayne, and Rocky Mount Senior High. All got byes this week. But our first game in the North Division of the Grit and Grind, 0-4 North Edgecombe versus 0-3 Rocky Mount Prep, Daryl. Somebody got to win.
Somebody got to win.
Somebody get the first win on the Thursday night.
I'm going Rocky Mount Prep.
I'm going to go North Edgecombe. Okay. Thursday night football right here, 1-3 Northwest Halifax versus WPA. WPA is 3-1.
WPA.
That's a crash course game. We already talked about it that we'll see on the 18th. 4-1. The Warren County Eagles, the Battle I-85 champs.
Yep.
Versus the 1-4 Southeast Halifax Trojans.
I'm going Warren County because, like we said, we can talk about this.
We can talk about it.
We see a couple weeks down the road.
It could be for a conference championship between them and WPA.
Yeah.
Something's in the water down in Warren County. These kids are playing tremendous, outstanding football.
Coach Hunt's got them playing some good football, him and his coaching staff. So I'm going Warren County.
I'm going Warren County. They locked in. 1-3 Kemp Pride. Versus 1-4 Northampton. Your favorite school, Kemp Pride.
Yep.
My favorite school, Northampton County Jaguars. Who's going to win this game?
I'm going Kemp Pride.
Uh-oh, Kemp Pride. He's back.
I'm back. I didn't pick him last week, but I'm
didn't.
picking him. I'm going Kemp Pride.
I'm going to go with the Northampton Jaguars to win this game.
All right.
Our next game, Daryl, and this is going to be a big game right here. 4-1 Vance County. Vance County lost against Southern Durham. A lot of people didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
That Southern Durham team is really making some noise in this conference. Versus 3-2 Lewisburg. And this game is in the Bird, Daryl.
That's what I'm going to say. This is in the Bird. This is in the Bird right here.
This big game.
So
on the Thursday night.
If we was not at this Tarboro game,
we'd be in the Bird.
We'd be at the Bird.
But we come to see you.
Yeah. I'm going Lewisburg. You playing at home. The momentum's going to be there. The energy is going to be there.
You know about Lewisburg. You've been to that stadium.
Yeah, they're going to be ready.
This is that big game.
This is the big game for them. I think Coach Lassner and his coaching staff is going to have them ready to play. I'm going Lewisburg.
I'm going Lewisburg to give Vance County an upset and hang a loss on them.
Yeah.
It's not that right. I take the Bird. I think this is Lewisburg game to win. It's at home.
Yeah, and they got a big time game next week.
Ooh, JF Webb.
JF Webb.
JF Webb at JF Webb. Big game.
Yeah.
Speaking of JF Webb, 0-4 JF Webb versus 4-1 Southern Durham, or the Southern Sustainable School of Energy. I got it right this time.
Is that what it is?
That's what it is. They're not going by Southern Durham no more, but for the sake of Greek ground, we're going to keep calling Southern Durham.
It's this hard pick. It's hard pick.
I want to take it. So bad.
I'm going Southern Durham. I want to go JFL, but right now, yeah, I'm going to have to go Southern Durham on this pick.
Southern Durham was able to beat Vance County last week. That's a big win. I got to go Southern Durham.
Yeah.
I think that win right there shows you where they're at in this conference.
Yeah.
Our next game in the North, Daryl, 1-3 Hereford County Bears versus 1-3 Passatank County. Passatank County.
I think I picked Passatank County. It's who I'm going with.
Passatank County.
Yes.
Final answer.
Yes, sir.
Final answer.
Final answer, 1-3 Passatank County. Did I pronounce that right?
You said it right. Daryl has said on this week's episode of Grit and Grind, he will not let me change his mind. He is sticking to it.
Because you got me last week with Bunn and Rocky Mountain.
Oh, I fooled you.
But that's all right.
That's
I'm
it.
stuck
You
right
stuck.
here. I got him.
Hereford County Bears get a win in this game. I'm taking Hereford County. 1-2 South Granville versus 2-3 Cabarro Jaguars. Vikings versus Jaguars.
I'm going Jaguars.
I'm going Jaguars.
Yeah.
Cabarro should get a win on that one. Let's go to Wayne, Johnson, and Wilson County, Daryl. Let's start in Wayne. 2-3 Rosewood versus 0-4 Southside Seahawks.
Rosewood. Yeah.
1-3 Southern Wayne. The Saints of Southern Wayne versus 2-2 West Johnson Wildcats.
Southern Wayne. I got Southern Wayne on this.
You know, well, and I will say this: when you pick Southern Wayne, you must give them some love.
Yeah,
you
they
do
come
something.
through.
They watch Grit and Grind. They come through every time you pick them on this show.
Yeah, I'm going Southern Wayne.
Not so fast, my friend.
Uh-oh.
I'm going West Johnson.
West Johnson?
Wildcats get a win on this one. 1-2 Spring Creek versus 1-3 Lejeune.
I'm going Lejeune. 1-3 Lejeune.
1-3
That's who I'm
Lejeune.
picking. Lejeune.
I'm going 1-2 Spring Creek. The Gators won me over. You picked them last week. They got a good win last week. I'm impressed with that win. I'm sticking with the Gators. 4-0 CBA Aycock hung up 54 points on Hunt last week at home.
Yeah.
Versus the 2-2 Warriors of East Wake.
Yeah, CBA Aycock's playing some good football right now.
That air raid offense.
Yeah, I'm going CBA Aycock.
Crank up the air raid.
Yeah.
It's going to be scored all night. CBA Aycock for the win. 3-1 South Johnson versus 2-2 West Fight, Wilson Fight. We picked that last night on the Grit and Grind Instagram. We both picked Fight. Unfortunately, South Johnson won that game.
And it was, I want to say it was 0-6.
0-6, low scoring game.
Yeah.
So South Johnson got that one. Our next game, 0-4 Triple S versus 1-3 Hunt.
Going Hunt. Going to Warriors. Yeah.
You going Hunt Warriors?
I'm going Hunt Warriors.
Don't come back.
Going Hunt Warriors.
And gonna win this game.
I'm going to take care of business.
On 0-4 Triple S.
Yep.
They won't get their first win. This is not a trap game.
Not-
Coming off a
no.
loss, not a trap game.
No, not this game.
Well, guess what? I agree with you today.
going to Hunt.
Hunt Warriors gonna win this one. 3-1 Corn Holders Pirates versus the 1-3 Willow Spring Storms. Corn Holders coming off a loss against Cleveland.
Yeah.
Cleveland is an established
good,
program up
yeah,
there.
good program. Holders. I'm going Coach.
Bounce back game for Coach Carl. We come to see you, Coach Carl. Give me Corn Holders on that one also. 4-0 Clayton versus 3-1 Gardner.
This was a tough pick
This is tough.
because Garner has always been that program up in the Wake County area.
Always.
And
Clayton has always been
Clayton's
that program
yeah.
in the Johnson County
And
area.
This is one of those games, and I tell you, it was tough for me to pick this game because I want to say Garner, but I'm going Clayton.
If we wanted Havelock and Tarboro tonight, we probably would be at this game. Whenever my boy Brian tell me pick him, I never go wrong. Shout out to my boy Brian. I'm going Clayton Coppers for the win.
All right.
2-2 North Johnson Panthers versus the 4-1 Lakewood Leopards.
Lakewood.
I gotta go Lakewood.
Yeah.
Sorry, North Johnson. Gotta go Lakewood on this one. And talking about Cleveland, 4-0 Cleveland, the Rams versus 1-2 South Gardner.
Cleveland.
Cleveland.
Yeah.
That's an easy one right there for me.
Cleveland on that.
Let's go over to the Sand Hills, Daryl.
All right.
0-5 Clinton, our dark horses, our favorite horses
Yeah.
on the show, versus 1-4 Princeton Bulldogs. If you ask Princeton, they said they got a dog pound.
Right.
They ain't got the original dog pound.
Well, yeah.
It's right down the
Yeah,
street
we
at
talked about
Central.
that. I'm going, you know what? I'm going Clinton. Clinton's going to get their first win.
Clinton going to get that win.
They're going to get their win.
Tonight.
In
the Princeton Dog Pound.
In the Dog Pound, Clinton's getting the win.
Final answer.
Final answer, yes. The Dark Horses are getting the win tonight.
He is not going to change today,
No.
y'all. He said it. He's sticking to his guns. Princeton gets a win at home. It's at home, Princeton gets a win. Next one, 1-4 Hope County, the Fighting Bucks.
Yep.
Versus 3-2 Lee County. We're going to jump to that one. Who you got, girl?
That's a tough one. I'm going to go Lee County, but I think Hope County's going to keep it close.
I'm going to go Lee County, but Hope County's going to keep it close.
Yeah.
Let's jump over to Nash County. 1-4 Franklinton Red Rams. Red Rams, Ram Nation, stand up. You already know what to do. Versus 2-2 Nash Central Bulldogs at the Dog Pound.
At the Dog Pound, Nash Central is gotten refocused. Nash Central's going to take care of business. I'm going Nash Central on this.
This is Nash Central.
Yeah, this is Nash
I
Central.
think this is the game, coming off that Southern game, that they're going to get refocused and locked back in.
Yeah.
They had a good week of practice.
Yeah.
Give me Nash Central for the win. 4-0. Northern Nash. A quiet 4-0.
I was going to say, we have not talked about
very
Northern
quiet.
Nash in seemed like months.
Very quiet.
Very quiet. They
I'm
like,
saying very
okay,
lonely.
Grit. They just talking to us saying, Grit and Grind, you don't talk about us no more.
You haven't came by to
They
see
see
us.
us.
You ain't come to no
They
practices.
doing nothing.
You know, last 2 seasons, we was at Northern Nashville every other week, felt like.
But now you don't know us no
You
more.
don't know us. Northern Nashville, we come back to see you. We got to go see
Just
you.
ghost us and everything.
We come to see my nights. You know, I'm an honorary knight. You know, all these schools giving these honorary high school diplomas.
I'm going to go ahead and say this. I know it's ahead of time. I'm going to go and put it out there. Southern and Northern's got to play later on next month.
That's going to be a big game.
I won't be at that game.
Right.
But if Northern does win that game, I will wear that green Northern Nash jersey on the following show.
Did you hear
So
that?
I'm putting it out there, Northern Nash
He
fans.
has not done it in 4 years.
I have done it. I will wear your green.
You will wear that jersey.
Yes, the whole show.
The whole show.
A Southern Nash alum will wear that jersey, the whole show, if y'all win.
That on the record now.
That is on the record. The stakes have been risen for that game.
Yeah.
It's been 4 years. I will say, but we made this pick.
Yeah.
Daryl told Northern Nash that if they beat Southern that year, both of them came undefeated, he would wear that jersey. And we did not have a jersey. We did not have one. Coach Ferris, Coach Joey, the principal at Northern Nash, shout out to them. They called me the following day, that Saturday morning, said, we have the jersey ready to come pick it up Monday morning to make sure that he wears it. The game, the state's been rich for that game. 4-0 Northern Nash, quiet 4-0.
Quiet 4-0. I'm going Northern Nash on this.
I got to go Northern Nash.
Yeah.
You know, one thing about Northern Nash, when they're 4-0 and it's a quiet 4-0, that's a scary 4-0.
Yeah.
Now it's time for the Big Four, Daryl. Our marquee games week and also our primetime game of the week. 3-2 Greene Central versus 3-2 Southwest Edgecombe in Snow Hill, North Carolina.
Yeah, it's going to be a big time game for them.
58.
I'm going to go Greene Central. I'm going Greene Central on that. I think they're going to come out.
I can't
with
make
a
a
W.
change about that one.
Yeah, I'm going Greene Central. Who you got?
I ain't even going to ask you about that, because I already know that's it. Cougar Town, USA, my favorite Cougars lead Cougar Town, USA, roll into Snow Hill and come back to Cougar Town, USA. Well, guess what? A W in their pocket.
All
Give me
right.
Southwest Edgecombe. 4-0 71st, hosting 3-1 the Grays Creek Bears. In 71st, I said it earlier, Grays Creek come to play spoiler. 71st, they've been on the road.
Yeah, they've been on the road. I'm going 71st, but like we said, you know, you just got to play some good ball, be focused, ready to play, and which I think I'm sure they're going to be ready for 71st, but I'm going 71st in this game.
71st?
71st, yeah.
I'm taking 71st too, but like you said, they got to be, they can't look ahead to next week with Cape Fear.
With Cape Fear.
They got to stay in this game because this is a Grays Creek team. If you let it be close, they can walk away with a win.
Yep.
Our next game, Daryl, up in Roanoke Rapids. 5-0 Roanoke Rapids Yellow Jackets hosting the 5-0 Southern Nash Firebirds. Gonna be a good ball game.
It's going to be a good game. Southern Nash cannot turn the ball over like they have been doing for the last 2 weeks. You got to play good, clean football.
That's the key word.
And
I will say that again.
Yeah, good, clean football because you cannot go up there doing turnovers and giving Roanoke Rapids opportunities to stay in this game. You got to go in there, take care of business, first quarter, first half, and get on back to Nash County. So I'm going Southern Nash.
Go Southern Nash.
But you got to play smart football.
This is going to be a tough game. And Southern Nash has weathered the storm the past 2 games.
Yeah.
This is a good Roanoke Rapids team, but I'm taking Southern Nash to win this game.
All right.
Now, Daryl, it's time for the grit and grind.
Prime time.
Game of the week right here. 3-1 Havelock Rams. Taking the ride from Havelock.
Yep.
Coming all the way through these other towns. We ain't going to name all of them on the show.
Yeah.
But they're going to get on somewhere on this trip. They're going to have to get on Highway 64.
Yeah.
And we already told you what you're going to see, so I don't got to remind you.
Yeah.
They're going to see that billboard.
Yeah, we done talked about that billboard. Yeah.
They're going to come down into the boulevard. They're going to come to Valhalla, home of the Vikings.
Right.
See all that prestige and heritage. And what I say, the intimidation factor starts to kick in. Does it kick in?
No. No.
It does not kick in.
Not at all.
So all that stuff
Don't mean one thing.
They just gonna ride right by it.
I'm going Havelock in this game.
Havelock Rams.
Havelock Rams gonna come in, take care of business, and get on back down.
To Havelock, North Carolina.
Havelock, North Carolina. Because what you said was a 14-point. Everything you see was 14 points. I'm going Havelock.
14-point underdog in this game.
Yeah, I'm going
At
Havelock
home.
in this game.
Not so fast, my friend. Not so fast. They roll down 64.
Okay.
They come and play football. Tarboro wins this game as a 14-point underdog. And I'm going to say it right here. They win by a touchdown.
All right.
Win by 6.
Okay. Well, we will be at that game.
We will. That is one of the biggest games of the night tonight.
Yep.
And we will definitely be there. Before we get ready to lead the head to Tarboro,
Yep.
Deryl, please tell the people how they can watch the pre-show and the post-show tonight in Tarboro.
You can follow us on Instagram at the Grit and Grind Podcast NC, where we will have videos of the post-show, the pre-show, interviews with coaches, players, and you'll be able to check those out there on our Instagram page.
And don't forget, if you want to watch the Grit and Grind every week, go to Studio 67 NCC, smash that subscribe button, hit that like button if you like this video, hit that bell so every time a video drops on Studio 67, you can get a notification to tune in. Also, don't forget to follow Studio 67 NCC on their Instagram as they post stuff for Grit and Grind and all other programs they have on their platform. Well, Daryl, we got a big game night for Thursday night.
Yeah, definitely big games. A lot of games going on tonight, and we're going to be at 1-0.
We got to hit the road.
Got to hit the road.
Clock is ticking down for us. So as always, therefore, we sign off. Do you have the grit?
And do you have the grind?
And we'll see you tonight in Tarboro on the Grit and Grind.